Hello everyone, it's me, Doomlink. I'd like to welcome you all back to the Live Hunt series. We are here in not Generations Ultimate, it's clearly 3 Ultimate. Get your words together, Doomlink. And, it seems that the people, see, Dingles is being incredibly proactive at the moment. When I joined the room, he assured, well, first and foremost, he said hello, he greeted me. He then assured me that they would be finished soon, because they are currently on a quest as a group of 3. And now that they've completed the quest, before he's even returned from it, he's asking me if there's anything that I need. So as a room host, he is getting full marks right now. So many room hosts, as I've explained before, are people who probably can't really get by in a room hosted by someone else because they themselves are so extraordinarily retarded that they can't really cooperate with others, so they have to be the people coordinating things themselves, and then the rest of us just have to deal with it. But this person actually seems to know how to interact, which is really encouraging. Is there anything that I need? No. I mean, there's Lagia Cruise stuff, but I think that starts off at high rank levels, so I'm not going to worry. Not really, just hunting for fun. Fortunately, we are all of a high hunter rank. We've got Hajime Osam in this room. This is someone that I played with last time in part 196 or 7. I don't even know what part it is now. Hello, Palkia Dialga. It is part 198, so in part 197, I was playing with Osama bin Laden, and I also did see Conrad. Conrad was hosting one of the rooms, but I couldn't join him. So I have a feeling that maybe Conrad was the cause of the terrible network instability that I was having to deal with during that Ivory Lagia Cruise hunt in the previous recording, which did turn into a bit of a legendary hunt, I have to say. It was legendarily bad, but outside of that, I don't think there was anything noteworthy. Let me get my chat organized. And I'll check to see what's on the board momentarily. My priority at this stage is to actually communicate, or at least be capable of receiving communications from my audience. There's the Twitch app. I knew I could find it eventually. Don't update Twitch. I would update it if it would fix it, but I somehow don't think it would. So I'm not going to bother at this stage. Hello, Beta. Still recovering from your Discord account being compromised, which resulted in random posting throughout my Discord channel. We've got Shock Treatment, 2 Baleful Giganox, which is a good choice, in the sense that it's not the sort of quest that I'm going to be doing often in this game, so the variety is appreciated. I think, is water the weakness? It's much the same as the I don't want to say interaction necessarily, but I guess the relationship between Kezu and Red Kezu is that one's weak to fire, the other's weak to water. So I think it's rather the same with Giganox and Baleful Giganox. The standard is weak to fire, the subspecies is weak to water. That's how I recall the situation. So what I'm probably going to do is not use standard lance. I might actually use water lance, although I cannot recall at this stage what my awakened lance is. So we're going to find out together. It's a little adventure that we're going on. Why on earth would you be over here? Have I really not sorted my box? I had not sorted my box, and I'm not actually fully upgrading that Eclipse lance because, and we've been over this before, I do have sharpness +1 with my awakened loadout, which means that it would be a waste to you. Is that correct? Let me double check this, because you can see sharpness +1 is helping with that particular upgrade of lance, but I think the max upgrade has max sharpness. Yeah, you can see that the max upgrade actually takes you to the end of the sharpness meter. Of course, consequently, sharpness +1 will not actually work with this. And so I have reservations about fully upgrading it. That's alright. What is my Water Awaken? Aha, that's a good choice. My Water Awaken lance is the Ruster Ambrose lance. What's good about it, you ask? Well, it's a little different. It's a giant halberd and a shield being used as a lance. "31 mantles. Keck, whoa. Thank you for your acknowledgement of 31 mantles of something. I don't know what, but apparently I've got 31 mantles of something. And I'm not, at this stage, going to go back through my box to find out what mantle he was referring to. Osama bin Laden is prettying himself up somewhere, and I thought I was taking a while. And I was taking a long time. I had no business taking as long as I was taking to get myself organized. But Osama bin Laden is still, at this stage, preparing for the hunt. If he needs the time, then very well. Apparently I've got 31 Nagakuga mantles, which I can believe. I can certainly believe that. Where are they? Here we go. 31 Nagakuga mantles. And only 1 Cloudy Moonshine. Much of the Nagakuga mantles that I've acquired have actually been through trying to get Cloudy Moonshines, because the thing is, Lucent Nagakuga does also drop the standard Nagakuga mantle. And they drop, I would like to say, semi-frequently in the Lucent Nagakuga hunt, or from the Lucent Nagakuga quest, but Cloudy Moonshines, on the other hand, are extremely rare. And as a result, you end up accumulating Nagakuga mantles just from that particular hunt, and then on top of that, whenever you do regular Nagakuga and green Nagakuga, there is the chance, of course, of getting a mantle at that stage, so it does definitely accumulate in the way that you can see. What is going on? There's a lot of patience going around here. No shortage of patience. Osama has said, "Hold on," which is his catchphrase that I worked out. Well, I worked it out to be his catchphrase in the previous recording. Quite frankly, that would be an abuse of our patience to make us wait for that long. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, like I said, I was pushing it, taking as long as I was taking. You know, I was checking out my poison lance and mucking about, really, but I don't know. Maybe this guy was just engaged in some serious preparation. Well, that's good to hear, Beta. I'm glad that you didn't suffer too many rough consequences as a result of having your account compromised. I seem to be missing something in my... Oh, it must be bombs. Yes, that's what it is. Of which I need to I do need to actually combine more. But I'll do that later. I think it's time we got into a hunt. There are, well, I shouldn't say there were 15 people playing, 16 technically, including myself. And this really was the only room that I could join. So I'm glad that things have worked out in the way that they have. The host is not an idiot. He's in fact patient, communicative, and level-headed, which is almost impossible to find in this community now. Almost impossible, so good on him. He gets a gold star from me. And not a sarcastic good job star. I mean like an actual nice work, and I would furthermore express my appreciation for the fact that he's here and hosting a room. I cannot believe that paintball missed. It went between the leg and the wing. That is one of the downsides to having such a tiny paintball, which is what you do have to deal with here in... Well, thank you for throwing another paintball. Did you consider checking to see if a paintball had already been thrown? Honestly. Why am I bouncing on you with purple sharpness? I wasn't even intending on hitting the fucking tail. Stop hitting the tail. I'm trying to get the back legs or the wing and I keep getting the tail. This is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Was Lance a good choice? I'm starting to wonder. Anyway, yeah, there was only really one room for me to join as I came in today. There was Link, again, in his room, saying playing with friends with a limitation of 3 hunters. Of course, there were no friends in that room because he doesn't have any. And then there was a passworded room with 2 people in it with a limit of 3, and they were low rank anyway. And then there was the room hosted by Conrad, and I couldn't join his room because I got an error code, which does prompt me to consider Conrad to be the possible source of, let's say, connection or network instability from the previous recording. And then there was some other room, I don't know. Maybe this was that other room, I'm not sure, but the point is that I did not have an abundance of options, despite the fact that there were as many as 16 people, including myself, playing the game when I came online. So that was disappointing. It makes me wonder how I can get by when there are only as many as, like, 3 people playing. But I do, somehow. I do. Maybe the quality of the rooms, technically, goes up when there are less people hunting. I'm not sure. I have not seen Hot 1 recently. I don't know. Yeah, I will carve. Why not? And also, hello, A-Gaming. I will organise my calves once I get into the port again. I'll go to the vendor and sell anything that I seem to have max of. Not just seem to have, but what is demonstrated to be at max level. Or as a single stack of 99 in the box. There's not much to interpret. It's literally just the number. You go based on the number, Doomlink. Anyway. Apparently, it is the 25th anniversary of Fallout, which is actually quite appropriate given that we might be seeing some nuclear activity over in the east. Oh, here we go. So yeah, everyone, celebrate your anniversary. Oh, for goodness sake. Not only was that a terribly positioned... I'm trying to remember what that's called. Elemental burst, yeah. Not only was that a terribly positioned elemental burst, it did a very good job of hitting me away from the monsters, so you fucked up on 2 counts there. And he... he heard me. Maybe he's watching the live stream. He didn't rage quit, he just turned off the system in shame. That's what he fucking did. Oh well, I wouldn't say that was necessarily... I don't think that that warranted an immediate closure of the game and termination of his session. I don't think it was that unreasonable a mistake, but it was frustrating in the moment, and I wanted to touch on it, but he didn't have to disappear forever. There was no requirement for that sort of thing. Also, hello, Kodoku. I'd better keep away from this. Just gonna back hop. That'll do me. Yeah, I don't really like the idea of bouncing with purple sharpness in general. It's... I guess part of it is that I've always associated purple sharpness with the sharpness that hits through anything. Which is incorrect, you know, that's not really the way you should look at purple sharpness. You should just consider it to be the greatest boost to your damage in the back end relating to sharpness. That's really just how you should look at it, but Anyway, I mean, if I look back at 2nd gen, of course, the first game to introduce Purple Sharpness was Freedom Unite. If I look back at that game, there were certain things that you'd bounce on with Purple Sharpness. I think the Chameleos... I think parts of the Chameleos you could still bounce off with Purple Sharpness, and there were probably other examples as well that I, at this stage, can't really recall, but... yeah. Bouncing with Purple Sharpness, despite it being a little annoying, is not totally unreasonable. Come on. I'm glad we're actually committing to the trap, it's just that Giganox is very well designed. You're doing a very good job, Tinkles. I'm actually not going to... oh dear. I'm not going to take that tone with Dingles because he's a nice guy. But I don't really agree with how he approached that situation at all. He chose to stop committing to the trap only to immediately take a hit due to his inability to assess the risks in that situation, and then died. So, you know, failed on two fronts there. So apparently, Tina is going to post next. What an absolute dog's breakfast of a name. Underscore Tina underscore, I believe that's open bracket 3. Unless it's supposed to be less than, it could be that. Looks more like a bracket than that, but yeah, what a truly unpleasant name to look at. I see what you're going for, but it's neither cute nor clever nor attractive. So, I mean, power to you, I guess, but I'd be very upset myself if I had to commit to a name like that. You can't change your name, you see. So if I had to play X number of hours in this game with a name that looked like someone was rolling their face all over the keyboard and then going with whatever name happened to appear in the name creation or name selection screen, I'd be pretty disappointed. So this is actually a very large Giganox that we just hunted. That was the second one that we hunted. It's now my largest. Previously it was 1277, now it's 1288, which is pretty good. Not too bad at all. Yamatori-san in the chat seems to think that Osama bin Laden got assassinated by Obama, which reminds me of the old jokes I used to make. I remember when Obama was first elected president, I just called him Obama bin Laden. That's what I called him. Probably doesn't sound very funny now, but it was funny at the time, calling him Obama bin Laden, because it was so similar. Osama, Obama. But anyway, aside from my humor, good old Obama bin Laden. Mountain Massacre. Okay. Oh, stop it. Is there a common element? I've definitely asked this question before while looking at these three monsters in this lineup. Not really. Not a common elemental weakness that I would be happy with using, so I will go with either status or raw damage. Let me think about what would be fun. I don't think I want to use paralysis unless we can get 4 people. Much like Hunting Horn, I don't like using paralysis with only 3 people in total on the hunt. I do prefer to play support for the benefit of 3 hunters aside from myself, rather than 2. Just doesn't feel quite right. Could look at weapons this way, you know. Probably a little more sensible. In fact, we could use... No, I'm not using the Bryson's Demolisher. I could, that's definitely an option. But... I do not have many switch axes to choose from, do I? Didn't I recently make a switch axe? Yeah, the Silesia Ender Axe. Not really applicable, though. I don't know how the dragon... Well, to be honest, it's not... That's what I decided. I decided I wouldn't use the Silesia Ender Axe with Awaken, didn't I? I did make that decision. Maybe I could use it then. How did I decide to use it? Just with... Probably just my standard Blade Master set with Honed Blade, maybe. Which I'm perfectly content to do. Of course, the logic behind that, and I will reiterate this for the benefit of those who didn't hear me explain it the first time, is that that is only 100 dragon damage, which I don't believe is added onto the dragon file damage. It might be. I actually don't know how that works. Like, do I get 100 dragon damage on top of the dragon file damage when I'm in sword mode? I'm really not sure. I don't know if dragon file cancels out the dragon value of the weapon when I'm using Awaken. But the way I looked at it was that by using Awaken, what I'm effectively getting is 100 dragon damage specifically in axe mode, which I don't find to be that helpful. I think that I could just forget Awaken in general and go for damage skills instead. If anyone's got some insight into how dragon damage on top of dragon file would work, do let me know. I think that logically it would make sense if they stacked. Just comfortably stacked. Whatever dragon value you were getting on the file already would just comfortably stack on top of that dragon damage now added through Awaken, but still I don't really think that's worth it. Because again, 100 is just... It's not very impressive, is it? Alright. I will go with the Silesia Ender Axe. I'm just looking at the attack values of my other switch axes. Yeah, it's my strongest switch axe that I have in my inventory, so I'm happy to use it. Largely as a raw switch axe. Well, Beta, I don't think that that principle would change with Awaken. If Dragonfile does scale with dragon damage, it should work just fine with Awaken, because to be honest, most circumstances where Dragonfile does exist with a switch axe are circumstances where the switch axe in question does not already have dragons, so that's usually going to be an Awaken scenario. So yeah, do you know, I have forgotten, I did at one time know, back in Try I knew, but I've since forgotten, do you know how much damage Dragonfile actually deals? Like how much elemental value that is? I think it's something, I think it's like 50. Like 30 or 50 or something like that. Do you remember what Dragonfile deals? Because that would probably influence my decision as to whether or not to add that 100 on. And whether or not that's worth it. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't... It's one of those things that's not in my head anymore because I'm not a switch axe guy at all. I just don't use it, as I'm sure you can all attest to. Anyway. This is a good choice of loadout for this weapon, at any rate. I do like the look of it too. I haven't used it very much recently, so happy to be using it at this stage. It's power file, isn't it? No, what am I talking about? We were just talking about it having a dragon file, Doomlink, seriously. I'm going to keep using axe mode until we reach the max level of our charge gauge. Well, until our charge gauge fills, how about that? Okay, I was out of the range of that, fortunately. If my sword mode doesn't actually have... Oh, just barely got out of the way of that. Damn it. But yeah, if my sword mode doesn't have power file, I almost feel like it's not worth using sword mode. I don't think the damage is... See, I don't remember the motion values of sword mode versus axe mode. I think they're slightly better. Slightly. But the big benefit is either an increase to elemental damage by way of elemental file, or an increase in affinity by way of power file. But I'm not getting either of those things. I'm just getting a little bit of dragon element tacked on to the sword mode here, which I don't think is especially helpful against this monster. So I don't really think it's worth using sword mode. Am I evaluating that correctly, is the question. It's so funny how I've got all of these questions relating to my Switch Axe setup. But yeah, these are questions that I would have been able to answer at one time, but we're rolling back 10 years into my memory because that's the last time I gave a shit about Switch Axe. Because it was the new weapon type in Try, and I was, you know, informing myself as to how it worked, and then since then, fuck me. Anyway, apparently it's 35 in portable third, which means I was right when I was thinking of the number 30, but if it's 35 in portable third, it's probably very similar throughout the rest of the games. And to be honest, if we're playing 3 Ultimate here, it's most likely to be similar to portable third, isn't it? Because this is the game that came after. So yeah, 35 dragon damage. Ugh, it's not that amazing. It's practically 4 dragon damage in true value terms. Anyone gonna detonate that? Yeah. So I'm quite happy to use my sword mode here for obvious reasons. A little bit of extra dragon damage against a monster that is primarily weak to the element. Now, because Dragonfile only has within the region of 30 inflated element, that does actually make that addition of 100 elemental damage somewhat worth it. I don't know, I'll have to think about it. You know what I think, actually? I think both options are appropriate. Awaken and non-awaken. I think they both work. But what I will say is that it would be unwise to use Awaken unless one were fighting a Dragon Weak monster, which is an obvious point to make, but that sort of puts it to bed for me. I think it would have to depend on the amount, or rather the extent to the weakness to Dragon that the enemy monster has. If it's considerable, like if there is a large weakness or a considerable weakness to Dragon, it's probably worth using Awaken. If it's a quest such as this one, where literally the only monster that's substantially weak to Dragon is this Rathian, Awaken would be a waste. So it makes this weapon a little more versatile, in a way. I think I'm happy with that. Now, as for sword mode motion values versus axe mode motion values, that's a separate issue. And one that I can fix later on. Well, my confusion can be addressed later on. That's not very nice. This isn't very nice either. I like Gargwa. They're quite funny. I very much enjoyed them in Portable Third. That's the game where they originated from. That's why they're here, it's because this map, the Misty Peaks, is a Portable Third map. It's a really beautiful location to come into. Quite reminiscent of the Great Forest from Freedom Unite. And, except, even nicer, to be honest. Anyone detonating? Anyone? Anyone? No? Okay. I think that was my switch axe, but fortunately because the switch axe mode is a long, I'm not going to say a long range weapon type, but it has decent range. On account of that fact, I was able to detonate the bombs without being in range of the explosion. I will read what you're saying, Palkia, in just a second. My initial answer is no to your question, but I only read the first sentence. I will check it in a bit. No, I do not get bored of staying in the same room at all. I think that if you've got a group of people that are not necessarily doing the exact same rotation of quests, it's fine. I don't think there's anything to get bored of. If you're doing different quests each time, doesn't matter if you're staying in the same room or changing rooms, the result is the same. The way that I look at it is that you've got good rooms and bad rooms, and if you found a room where there's nothing in particular to complain about, like all the hunters are playing reasonably well, no one's doing anything really stupid, no one's being in any way unfriendly or unreasonable or disagreeable, then just stay in the room. That is especially the case in games such as these where there are not that many alternative options. If you find a good room in this game, you got to stay in it. So really your question would be best directed to a previous version of this game where lots of people were playing, and if I take myself back, I played very differently back then. Back when you had hundreds of people playing this game, hundreds, the way I would actually play was I would search the monster list. I would go into the room search function in this game, and I would search for monsters, and I would see what people were hunting. I would consider to myself, what do I feel like hunting right now? And I would select a monster that I felt like hunting, and then I would choose the best room for that monster that had been posted in the world. Now, it is completely different to that now. Now you just check which of the 3 other rooms, or which of the 3 rooms that have been put up, seems to be the best to join. You don't have that abundance of options anymore. So, yeah, the way I play is very different now. Yeah, I don't feel a need to constantly change rooms. I'm quite happy to change if things aren't going my way. Not so much in this game. I guess the best example at this stage for a room where a game that I would be willing to change rooms in if things aren't going my way would be Generations Ultimate, because I do have at least a good chance of having an alternative. Not necessarily a better alternative, but an alternative of some description. But in 3 Ultimate, no. If I leave this room, for example, there's no guarantee that there's going to be another room for me to join. Again, there was a room hosted by Conrad that I couldn't join because I was getting network errors. There was a room with a guy that I flatly refused to play with because he's got a mental disorder, and not in a good way. And there's a passworded room with low-ranked people in it, so yeah. That's the situation. And to be honest, I think the fact that we haven't actually managed to get a 4th person in this length of time is also indicative of a winding down of the player base for tonight. I say tonight, even though it's morning here, because these are the European people. the activity that I'm currently enjoying in 3 Ultimate, as I record now, is on account of the European activity, the European player base. So I think that the number of rooms is going to slowly, and not just the number of rooms, but the number of players is going to slowly reduce until there's basically no one. So I'm definitely going to be sitting in this room for as long as it can last. Your new uncle in the chat says, "Hi Doomlink, I drew fan art for you, and I'd like to share it with you in your community. Can I get a Discord invite, or another way to send it?" It's very good of you to draw fan art. I don't know if we've actually communicated at all in the live stream. It's curious to me that you would be willing to draw fan art genuinely, yet you haven't really interacted or sought to interact with me or the community thus far, which gives me cause to believe that this is some kind of troll or joke. But if it's not, I can send a Discord invite, and yeah, you can put it in the initial landing channel. And whatever it is, yeah. It can be swiftly deleted if it is something that shouldn't be there. I will send a Discord link. Doomlink with cat ears, grand. The hesitance is just that it doesn't match up with the situation. I mean, it's fine. You have to understand that when you're on the internet, there are people who always want to play jokes on you. So, yeah. Feel free to post it in the welcome channel as you enter. And also, hello, P. Barry. But, yeah. Looks like Osama bin Laden has returned. I don't know, he needed to cool off after his shameful display. Actually, not so shameful display. Like I said, I don't think it was worth him leaving over it with the switch axe. But anyway. Oh, is it my turn to post? Maybe. Yes, it is my turn to post. Let's find something. It had been explained to me before that Tina would post and then I would post. Your average person would be very confused, but fortunately I do have a functioning brain, which is a novelty in this community. How about 2 green Plesioth? That sounds like fun. Alright. What the... I'm not too sure how to interpret your avatar on Discord. Uncle. I don't know how to refer to you. I'm not going to refer to you as uncle. That's just weird. It sounds gross. It sounds like... Yeah. Sounds almost homoerotic, you know. Calling you uncle. I don't know. Maybe I've got an unpleasant mind. Anyway. So, I have actually chosen the quest, so I should at this stage know what we're hunting, and I do. I was actually just on reflex about to say, what are we hunting again? And then I realized that I have absolutely no reason whatsoever to have forgotten what we're hunting. So let's get it together. We want a thunder weapon. And preferably something that can be used underwater without me wanting to claw my eyes out. Maybe... I don't want to do Gunlance. I constantly use Thunder Gunlance against this monster. Don't really want to do Thunder Lance. That's a bit boring. How about Longsword? Longsword will do the trick. It's my... I don't think I have an Awakened Thunder Longsword. I don't really have many Awakened Thunder weapons. Not because I have specifically failed to make them because I am lazy or non-committal. It's because There are so many weapon types that do not have Awaken Thunder options in this game that it's woeful, to be honest. Just not good enough, actually. It's a substandard attempt from Capcom to... I guess... form a collection of Awaken weapons that can be used. There are so many weapons that should exist that don't in this game. And there's also an atrocious assortment of bows from which to choose that leaves you, depending on the shot type that you're going for, the arrow type I suppose, and the element, using something that actually feels bad. So, yeah, that's pretty bad as well. Oh, it looks like Yamatori-san made it in. Sorry, you're of course someone that I would be happy to have in the Discord, but I suppose for one reason or another, you never ended up joining when I posted the links in the past, so... Yeah, welcome to the Discord, Yamatori. As for this uncle guy, who's the entire reason why I sent a link in the chat in the first place, he still has yet to send this fan art, so... I do wait patiently for that. Not with much anticipation, but... perhaps just out of a general curiosity at this stage. Oh. What's happening, Osama? Don't want to forget your potions. Don't want to forget your oxygen supply. I'm not going to bring that, obviously. Oxygen supply really is not necessary unless you're hunting Cedeos. Or Abyssal Lagiacrus. The reason being that that's a place where you can't really swim up to the surface quite so easily. Yes, you can access bubbles, but depending on where you are in that particular arena location, you can be quite far from bubbles by the time you realize, oh, I need bubbles now, otherwise I'm going to start drowning underwater here. Whereas in the case of underwater combat outside of that particular arena location, not only are you unlikely to be underwater for long enough to need it, because the monster is going to be moving around and you might be reaching the surface of the water naturally, without even specifically trying to get air. But if you did need air, just swim up to the surface of the water, it's not a problem at all. So, yeah, oxygen supply, not all that needed. I'd like to fish you out, but I don't have a frog. And quite frankly, it looks like everyone's going to... Oh, hello. Yes, very good of you. I think, yeah, if you've already been completely seen by the Plesioth, you can't really fish him out. That was awful. Oh, I see. The reason why you can't put fan art in there is because... for goodness sake. I don't think you're allowed to upload files in that channel. Alright, fine. Do it in the general chat, man. Fuck me. So I think aiming for the body is really where you want to be aiming for with the Plesioth. Interestingly, the wings are not particularly weak and the head's not particularly weak. I think the back is weak, but obviously, traditionally speaking, it would be hard to reach that. But when you're fighting Plesioth underwater, that's not quite so unreasonable to do. Hello, Comrade Cowgirl. I've not seen you in some time. Well, that's right. You're... Who are you again? You've renamed yourself. So I forgot who you were, sorry, I mean... If you want to rename yourself, you're going to have to tell me who you were, because I can't remember anymore. Might have been Potato, I don't know. Or someone else. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that profile picture myself, actually. At first I thought it was two naked men sharing an intimate moment, and then I realised that it wasn't, but it also doesn't look quite right. At any rate. Barely missed that tail swing. Barely. That's of course one of the issues with Plesioth on land, it's that gigantic tail. Well, not just on land, but also underwater. The tail is huge, because the monster is huge, and he swings it unreservedly. And it tends to catch you, like that. I tried to roll forward to avoid it, but it did not happen. It's funny to be able to hunt a Piscine Wyvern like this, in 3 Ultimate. Just that jumping forward and then flopping forwards, or I don't really want to say wriggling. Wriggling is a weird term to use for a fish, but I'm going to say flopping. You know, flopping forwards. It's a very Piscine Wyvern thing. Something that I particularly associate with Lavazioth. But this is the only Piscine Wyvern you can hunt in this game, so... It begs the question, why didn't they bring Lavazioth back? They definitely could have done that. Because they had already brought the Piscine Wyvern skeleton into this game, so... Should have just brought Lavazioth in. Oh god. That's not bad. It's very good of you to use that face. Thank you for that. That probably means a lot more to me than to anyone else. I appreciate that. So. I still don't want to call you uncle, but on this occasion I will. Thank you. That's very nice. Not too poorly drawn either. That's pretty good. You know, when you get someone approaching you in the Twitch chat and they're like, I want to send you fan art, and I've never seen this person before. Can be anything, but no, that's quite good. It's quite good. This is actually a pretty good hunt with these two monsters. I am sure that many of you are unaware of this fact, but I have a bit of a history with this quest. I think one of my first highlights on my Twitch channel involves a very unsuccessful hunt with these two monsters. I was two-manning with this guy who wasn't a great teammate, and was not a good hunt, generally. Yes, well, I have established that you're not a weirdo. You're new, uncle. I mean, aside from the name and the profile picture, and the way in which I was approached. Although I don't know how else you'd approach me. Yeah, not weird. I will put that up on the stream. You also got the Manxtraskelion necklace going. That's good. There you go. No, that's a bit too long. There it is. That's me. With slits for pupils, which makes me look rather intimidating and reptilian, but that's for anyone who obviously is watching the VOD and doesn't know to what we're referring to, and yeah, it's good enough. A nice surprise today, I suppose. I'm sure there's quicker ways to bring that up on the stream, but I don't often, bring images up on the stream, so yeah, I had to do it the long way. In a protracted, drawn-out fashion. Replace my camera with it for a hunt. Yeah, just me standing there, or sitting there with my glass raised, never drinking from it. That's right, I was going to sell what was in my box. Or rather in my pouch. There we go. I actually don't have max zenny for a change, so I can feel as if it means something, but it still doesn't, because I don't need money, so selling things is essentially meaningless. Alright. We're under control again. Oh, Dingles needs to do something by the looks of it. You three go ahead and hunt, I will be right back. Very well. The question is, whose turn is it to post? Well, Osama bin Laden can post then. We'll see what he's got in mind. That is a fully upgraded greatsword, right? It's not. Megiddo Blaze. Well, I'd be quite happy to help you fully upgrade that. It's just that I imagine the sharpness to be really bad. I don't even think he's got sharpness +1 on that. Wow. Unupgraded. Morales greatsword. No sharpness +1. That must start with a sliver of white and then continue into blue. And I mean a sliver of white. Oh god, that was scary. Did you see that? He posted his quest, and in the same instant, he engaged in some form of instant transmission and disappeared. What a terrible, terrible quest you've posted. That's just unpleasant. I believe we'll be hunting these monsters in pairs. And I've reached my, I guess, tolerance level now for underwater combat. I can do maybe one hunt of underwater combat, and then I've had enough. I need a break for a few days, but now we're about to do an underwater hunt that involves hunting 2 monsters at a time, consecutively, in the underwater arena. Fuck off. I'm really not in the mood for that. I will have to use Lance, then, because that is, again, the most comfortable weapon for me to use underwater. Gun Lance is also quite comfortable. Is there a common weakness here? Probably fire. Who was involved again? Ludroth, Gobel, Lagiacruz, and who was the other one? Was it Plesioth? Look, fire is probably a good choice. I think I'll go with a fire gun lance. I'm not actually going to use this loadout for it, I'm just checking my gun lance options. So I've got the Disuality. Sorry, Disasualty. I always used to say Disuality because that made more sense, but there's an extra S in there. So it's Disasualty. And so I've got that. Is that all I've got? No, I've got the Korsta Agnavulcan. Well, this is how it works. Morales weapons are much better when you have sharpness +1, and my gun lance set doesn't have sharpness +1, which is precisely why I made... Oh, I've actually... Yeah, what am I doing? I have my gunlance set equipped. So, this is why I don't use the Morales gunlance. It's because my lack of Sharpness +1 on this set makes this a essentially unviable option. So, this is a little more appropriate. But it doesn't look that much better, does it? It's almost the same amount of... Oh. Actually, this is a lot less appealing now that I compare the sharpness levels. Fuck it. We'll use this then. Osama again is saying, hold on. He says that almost invariably. He has to say it every quest. Or leading up to every quest. We're using the same gun lance, except mine's probably the only one that's fully upgraded, is it? Let's find out. Oh no, he obviously prioritized upgrading that over the greatsword. Well, I'm happy to see that. Room change moment? No. It's not that bad of a quest, although I guess if I had a lot of other options, I would consider it. Alright. Put that voucher away. I'm surprised I only have 36 of them. That's, oh wait, what's this? Treasure tracker. Now my vouchers are over here. So we've got 21 gourmet vouchers, 36 vouchers. Compare that to the amount of vouchers that you accumulate in a game like Generations Ultimate, for example, and you will see just how these things just lost their meaning as time went on. Capcom's idea, oh, for goodness sake. Well, at least we weren't in a hunt when he disconnected. He's obviously having issues with his network. Which means that maybe he was really the one behind the issues I was having in the previous recording. I don't know at this stage. Again, I also theorized that the issues that I was having were server-side, which is entirely possible, and maybe I'm looking into it too deeply. Connection error with Conrad today. Repeated disconnections from Osama bin Laden as well today. Could be either of them. It's also worth mentioning that that Sweet Death guy was not the only one throwing flash bombs. I thought he was, but it turned out Conrad was also throwing flash bombs during that hunt, so that means Sweet Death was not throwing in excess of 15 flash bombs in a single hunt, which is good to know. But still, I mean, the use of flash bombs was pretty unnecessary. I wouldn't describe him as a dumb hunter for having posted this quest. I don't think that's fair. Maybe this is his idea of fun, and I'm not one to judge that. Incidentally, I think that smoke bombs do work underwater. Sounds weird, but I think that they might. Could be entirely wrong. We've been over this. We've been told to depart with 3, Osama. Dingle said to hunt with them. What are you doing? This is not going to work. You're actually not welcome back. Actually, now that I think about it, you're not welcome back. Please don't return. Because there's no point hunting with a person who's going to keep disconnecting like this. There is no point. Because if we do manage to depart, then it's going to be Tina and myself 2-manning 4 fucking monsters in the underwater arena. And I can't think of many other hunts that would be more unpleasant than that. So if we could maybe do something else, that would be more appropriate. That would be much more appropriate. No, you see, you are misunderstanding the situation. We've got 2 options here. Either we wait for Dingles to return and hunt as that group of 3 with obviously Osama bin Laden dipping in and out. That's his problem. Or we do an entirely different quest. Musa has joined. Okay. I don't know what it is about this quest that you're so insistent about actually departing on and completing, Tina, because this is a shit quest, but fine. What's going on with you? You look very nice, actually. That armor set, coupled with that bow, in terms of the coloration, looked pretty cool. Almost looked like a crazy custom set. What is your hunter rank? Musa. Maybe it's Musa. Not sure what he's musing about, but... maybe about new possible fashion loadouts, such as the one that I just witnessed. He's got a gun lance as well. What is that? Can't see it from here. I should actually bring my gamepad closer so I can look at this. That's unupgraded. Oh no, but it's... okay, apparently I am actually blind. That's fine. Here's hunter rank 770, which is good. I like that this particular gun lance is such an obvious choice for this quest. And it is. Gun lance underwater is a good choice, and this is a good gun lance. Yeah, lost my words there. My word was swallowed in my throat. Or in my mouth, however you want to say that. The situation was that I made a gun lance that was supposed to be better if I didn't have sharpness +1. And it ended up being slightly worse because the reality is that the Agnaktor gun lance has pretty much the same amount of white sharpness as this gun lance. It has a lower shot level, and this gun lance has a little bit of purple as well, so I don't think there's a reason to use the Agnaktor gun lance at all. As far as I'm concerned, the increased shot level, the little sliver of purple sharpness, and the considerably higher elemental value of this gun lance makes it a better choice than the Agnaktor one. I'm guessing Osama has sent me a message. Are you kidding me? I should respond with a blushing emoticon. For fuck's sake. Who is this? You? Dingles? Oh, come on. This is not... you do not want to be engaging in online flirting with me. I'm recording, thank you very much. What my meaning being that it's rather embarrassing for you. Anyway. I don't know what's going on in this community. This is not the only person who wants to go around flirting with people. Like that Link person, the person that I mentioned that I don't want to hunt with at all, is someone who goes around doing that sort of thing. And I don't understand why that exists in this really small community. Anyway, that's stupid. I don't know, I've been around on the internet for long enough to know what that means. That sort of cutesy way of getting people's attention. Ugh. Anyway. It seems that we're doing this one at a time, which makes this a much more tolerable quest in the end. I think there's very high wind outside. Is that right? What's going on? Sorry, I need to check to see what's happening outside. I think there's very high wind. My umbrella on my balcony is moving along. Just one second. That should be alright. If you hear the sound of a large object smashing through glass and shattering, you'll know what it was. But anyway, it'll be fine. I'm not carving you, no way. Okay. May as well load another shot into the chamber. We've got a wyvern tier, which I find so ridiculous. The idea that this is going to stay here in its own little spot. I mean, that's a mega potion. Maybe that's slightly more realistic, but it's true that you can actually collect tears from monsters underwater. It's ridiculous. If it's already in a vial, okay, but it's not. The monster doesn't cry, put it in a vial, and then drop it. That's not how that works. I don't have evidence for that not being how it works. But I don't think the onus is on me to prove that. Oh, hello. But yes, fire is definitely the appropriate element to be using, and I should, if I feel that I can get the chance to do it, use my wyvern fire, and this is one such opportunity. I don't think you're going to last very long, Goebel. I can sense it. I'm really enjoying being flinched at the moment. Really enjoying it. The gunner is demonstrating why gunning is just generally superior. This monster actually cannot do anything to us. Almost feel sorry for him. I don't know if we want to use those bombs on this particular Goebel. Well, sorry, on this particular monster who happens to be the Goebel. Oh, I should have been out of range of that. Oh, goodbye. Weird hunt. Let me put it this way. This hunt would be shit if we had to fight these monsters in pairs. But I don't really think that fighting them individually makes it any better. It just makes it kind of boring and pointless. So it's a choice between a boring and pointless hunt and a shit hunt. And quite frankly, yeah, I don't know which I'd prefer. Neither, I suppose. Again, there is a Dragonator here, or was, back in Tri, but it's permanently blocked up. You can't actually use it in this game. The same is the case for the one in the land arena. You can see what it would have looked like. These ones here were never used. These were always just here for show. The one at the bottom is the one that you actually use. And it looked the same as that there, but they block it with a rock here. I can't remember where the switch was, actually. It was definitely somewhere. Just don't remember where. In the land arena, you needed a ledge to get up onto the switch. But that ledge has been removed in this game. Might be able to do my wyvern fire again. Let's have a look. Oh, I can barely see what's going on. Are you getting in this trap or are you not? Looks like you are not. See, I don't want to go for a wyvern fire with you until you're in that trap. I don't trust you. There you are. I would apologize, but I'd say that was unavoidable, Muser. But yeah, of course, Gunlance is a good choice underwater because of that mobility of the forward thrust. And it's fairly directional, I would say. Yeah, this is the water arena of Monster Hunter Tri. It's essentially unchanged from that game. It only appeared there and here. Obviously, since it is an underwater arena. Monsters often spawn through that hole there. That's usually where they enter the arena from. But strangely, the Goble just appeared out of the fucking ground. There are actually Gobles tunneling under us as we speak. And occasionally they are notified that they're expected in the arena and they just tunnel up. I see no other way for that to make any sense, but... yeah, and I'm not saying that makes a whole lot of sense either. But it's definitely entertaining. Alright, I'll drop a bomb as well. Hello. Dagyakuris. That looks like it hurt. Can I get a full combo out is the question. No, I think I could have gotten one out actually. I saw Musa flinching thinking it was me flinching. Sorry, Dingle. There was supposed to be an S there, but it got swallowed in my mouth again. I should probably say caught in my mouth or swallowed in my throat, because you don't swallow with your mouth, okay? I can use swallow in a figurative sense, but because it relates to the mouth already, feels like it would be best to just say throat at that point. Anyway. Let's play the game, I guess. Here we go. Good timing for a knockdown. These monsters really can't do much to us, and the reason why is because they are all 1 of 4 monsters, so... their health levels are very low, which means that their flinch resistance is low. We're constantly hitting damage thresholds, and... yeah, I mean, what kind of fucking Lagiacrus hunt is that? It's a non-event. There's nothing going on. I mean, what a boring hunt. Maybe some of you enjoyed that, but for me, it just doesn't feel substantial at all. It feels like a bit of a waste. I am not much a fan. Osama is here in spirit. We did his quest, but he's not here to reap the benefits of it being completed. Which is unfortunate for him, but Tina obviously felt that this really had to be done. I'm glad that we don't have that guy here in this room still, because I don't want people constantly disconnecting. And he's an example of a person who is constantly disconnecting. I just don't want that. I think it makes more sense to have someone who will actually be a reliable teammate that will be able to last the entire quest. I mean, I sympathize with him. He's obviously got bad internet. But I don't want my experience in the game to be negatively affected as a result. That's a pretty good final hit on that Lagiacrus. He looks really stretched out. Okay. I have 107 Goble PLs. I don't know why. That needs to be immediately rectified. $107. How did I manage that? Must have been going crazy. Go on. Entering 531. It's slow going, isn't it? Ranking up in this game. Those of you who have been watching me regularly in this game for months up and, like, I suppose, at this point, for months. Let me rephrase that, because my attempt to rephrase that was just pathetic. For those of you who have watched me over a period of months, you will be able to understand how slow it is to rank up in this game. And, yeah, if it's your objective to rank up, it's going to feel very slow and painstaking, but it's not really my objective to do that. My objective is to hunt for fun, and I will rank up in the meantime. But on occasion I will take note of the fact that it is happening very slowly. And that's the way it should be. They should never have changed the HRP requirement for level ups. Or rank ups, whatever you want to say. What is going on? Do we need to do these quests? I swear, one person posts an arena hunt and then someone else is like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I'm in the mood to do arena hunts now. I hate them. I'm sick of them. I don't want to do them. But unfortunately, my opinion doesn't really factor in. I suppose I don't even allow for it to. I don't sit here and type to people saying, I'm not doing this hunt, choose something different. I just go along with it and then whinge and moan to you people. God, what were the monsters? I don't know. I don't really care. Do I have a rapid raw bow in this game? I don't think I do. I wonder what would be a good choice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check the weapon... No, I'm not doing a room change. I know you would love that, but I've got no rooms to join. So I don't think you would like that in the end. If you want the stream to end like now, by me changing rooms, having nowhere else to go, and then having my spot in this room taken, then I'm happy to do that. But I think I'm just going to have to stay. Alright, so what am I doing? I'm going to check a weapons list and see if there is a good choice for rapid raw bow. Something possibly akin to that of the Black Fatalis bow from Freedom Unite. No, not Athena's ass. We want the Monster Hunter 3G Dex. Okay, let's see what we've got here. It looks like that is the Lucent Naga Cougar bow in this game. It seems that it can be forged outright at its max level. I don't think I have it. I wouldn't have made it. It seems oddly familiar to me, in the sense that I feel like I've had it, but I wouldn't have had a reason to make it, so... Yeah, no, I don't have it. So, the Eclipse bow... Again, let me make it clear. I can forge it outright and it doesn't have an upgrade beyond that point. This is the max upgrade. It's 312 attack, respectable for a bow, 20% affinity, and rapid level 5 on the third charge, with power coatings being applicable, which means that this is a fucking bow right here. This is exactly what I want. Okay, Eclipse bow. I have a use for my Cloudy Moon shard. I'm happy to see it. I'm glad I didn't use it somewhere else. Alright, Eclipse bow. Coming. No one's pestering me, but I just want to make it clear that I am on the way. Rapid. Here we go. Very good. A sudden addition. That is, addition with an A. Sometimes if I pronounce something with an A, it sounds like an E, but anyway. A sudden addition to my weaponry, and this is a good one too. I mean, we've got... Oh. Why is it still 312? You telling me I don't have power charge? What is going on? Where am I? You dick. I took out my charms and talons and never put them back. When did I do that? It must have been for one of my status runs, and then I never put them back in. I was wondering, why is my attack still 312? What the fuck? I wonder how many months it's been since I took those out of my gunner pouch. Now, this is something that those of you who don't play Try and 3 Ultimate won't really understand. Because you have a separate gunner and blade master pouch, you do actually need duplicate armor charms, armor talons, and then the power equivalents. So, as a result, if you take them out, it's very easy to not pay attention. It's easy to not have realized that. I mean, I can buy them again if I don't have them. I'd like to find them in my box, though, because I wouldn't have sold them. What is going on? These guys are being very patient. Let me just confirm that they are in my box still. Where are they? Yeah, they're still in my box. I just need to find them. What the fuck? I'll find them. I can do it. I thought they were close to the front. Okay, what I need to do is look for red and orange side by side. In this form. It's not that. No? What the fuck? Where are they? About to absolutely lose my mind. They must be here. Do I have to do the thing where I literally scroll and check the name of everything? I'm not seeing them. I don't know where they appear in my box. I do have basically infinite fucking money, so I should just purchase them. God, how stupid is this? Yeah, what would have happened is I would have been in need of space in my box, and so I just got rid of those because, you know, a status run, for example, is not in need of additional attack, and I can forego the defense if I'm really in need of the space, but that is so frustrating to not even be able to find them in my box at this stage. I mean, I could take the time to find them, but I've already kept these people waiting, so I'm just going to purchase them. Ugh, you idiot. I'm not going to make talons. Let's go with that. What a joke. Sorry, guys. Definitely kept these people waiting beyond what would be a reasonable length of time. Muser says in the chat, I'm a sexy triceratops. I have already eaten. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry for taking so long. God. But yeah, the Eclipse bow is a good bow for this game. Very frustrated about that situation with my charms and talons, but that's alright. I'll have to take some time to try and find them in my box somewhere. They're 4 items that should be side by side, so I don't know why I'm struggling to find them in this way, but whatever. I'm stealing the paintballs if you wouldn't mind, and I will take a ration. What have we got here? 2 at a time? Not a problem. I'm not going to use my coatings on this monster, if you can forgive me. I'm going to save it for a monster with a decent amount of health. Missed. But yeah, I've got 30% affinity on this bow because I do have critical eye +1. On top of the 20% affinity that the bow already has. Could you mind your own? You really need to get a life, you fuckwit. What is your deal, exactly? I officially hate this quest. I officially hate this quest and I don't want to see it anymore. But I've got no choice but to see it because I must complete it. Ugh. No. As if I'm going to bring deodorants for this hunt. I don't think anyone's going to criticize me for having failed to bring deodorants. So, at least I can rest easy with that knowledge. No. Get the fuck away from me! You pest! Can't believe it. I'm just gonna hang back until my stench is worn off. Dingles is dead. How unreasonable is it that we've almost had 2 faints against these 2 assholes? Can you believe it? I can't. How long does this stench last, for God's sake? Oh my god. Give it a rest. Get some soap. Alright. I'm just going to focus on the Ludroth. I don't care about the fucking... Well, clearly I do, because I keep looking at him. But yeah, the Volvidon... The reason why that happened was because I didn't want to pay attention to the Volvidon. I just wanted to pay attention to the Ludroth and pray that the Volvidon would leave me alone. He did not leave me alone at all. That did not happen. So, that was unfortunate. I don't think it's really worth using poison. No, I'm not going to do that. He's going to die too quickly for it to be worth it, so I'll save my poison coatings for some other monster. Looking inside of the body of another hunter there. Which is not as nice as it sounds. Or perhaps it doesn't sound all that nice. Oh, for goodness sake. Thank you. Really enjoying that. You mindless Kelby Deershot user. Kelby Deershot users bring bow users in general into disrepute, because that is not bow usage. That is pressing triangle over and over and over again. You're not even using it right. Maybe it's because spread wouldn't work quite so well against this monster, which isn't even true. You just position yourself to the side of the monster and use your spread properly. You're not supposed to charge your arrows. If you're going to use the Kelby Deershot, use it correctly. Dingles has now fainted twice. Which is a bit sad. That would have been some heavy damage. And that slime explosion would have also been some heavy damage. Ugh. And he's dead. Don't know why you lasted so damn long. It's ridiculous. Alright. That's that hunt. Now we have to wait for the next 2. Can't wait. Dingles probably isn't feeling too good about himself. Oh god. I'm not feeling too good about his internet. He's sliding all over the place. Maybe that's his issue. He's hoping he doesn't end up hosting any of the monsters. It's good to use this bow, though. Strange that I had never found myself wanting to use raw rapid up until this point. Definitely a curious thing. But it's entirely useful for hunts such as these. What's going on? Hello. Really, we're gonna get a Roggy in here? I don't really want to, but I'd like to line up with the trap so that we can at least get a monster in this trap. There seems to be a collective unwillingness to get that done. Alright. That probably ended as well as it could have. Are you shitting me? I'm just gonna keep doing this. So I can find him. Where is he? There he is. What are you doing? How could you die 3 times in this quest? What's going on? Is it because I didn't poke you back? Is that why? Maybe he's playing one-handed. Jacking off to my character with one hand and then trying to maneuver his character with the other. It's ridiculous. That sort of play is just... that is enough to fuck with the experience of everyone in this room. I purchased charms for this hunt. Muser said, the fuck just happened, which is probably an appropriate question to ask. I mean, it happens to the best of us, I suppose, but a quest like that, I don't know. I think he's choking the chicken, in my opinion. Now, we are going on an investigation to see if we can find these fucking power charms, power talons, well, charms and talons, yeah. Where on earth would they be? They're not going to be mixed in with this stuff, so... Lion's claw, yeah, my ass. Okay, so it has to be on this first screen. Maybe I can... oh, here we go, this is how I figure it out. They don't stack in the box, so that doesn't tell me where they are. Okay, brilliant, thank you. If they don't stack in the box, then that can make its way back into my inventory, thank you very much. This is intolerable. I have to very carefully check every single line. Every row. No, not that page. Where the fuck are they? They're in there. I can see that they're in my box. It wouldn't say that they were in my box if it was referring to the ones in my gunner pouch, right? What if that's what it is? Well, I wouldn't have sold them. The absurdity really is just... it has reached untold levels at this point. Where are they? Here's a test. Okay, Tina's... okay, fine. We'll do that quest, but let me undertake an investigation. I'm going to equip this loadout. I'm going to attempt to sell one of my talons. Why don't I have one in my box? Are you saying I never made them for my gunner loadout? That makes no sense. I remember having a conversation with friends that I used to hunt in this game with, and my friend Sam was like, what, are you telling me that you guys actually make a second pair of charms and talons for your gunner loadout? And we're like, yes, we do. And I remember checking my inventory to confirm that they were there, and they were there. So why aren't they here now? Why do they not exist? What the fuck? This is stupid. Oh, I'm so disappointed, just generally. I don't even have an explanation for this situation, and so I'm going to equip a greatsword and just move on with my life. I cannot even begin to measure my disappointment. Okay. Ice greatsword, let's just use the Paladire. Actually no, I used that last time. Let's go Awaken Greatsword with the Devastator Blade. Wherever that is. Here it is. Okay. I'm doing this because I used the Paladire against 2 Zenogas in the previous hunt. This is why it is a good thing to have alternative options for elemental weapons in the form of awakened weapons. It's good fun. I'll probably do 2 more hunts. It seems like a reasonable idea to me. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Are we? I think I need to purchase, not purchase, but rather withdraw, but no, I don't need to withdraw bombs. What am I missing in my inventory? Maybe nothing. Whatever. Musa says, I'ma stab somebody. Somebody fixin' to bleed. Yeah, I'm sure you're quite familiar with that sort of street activity, based on how you type. I'm hoping that the live stream is fine. For some reason, my chat has disconnected on Twitch. My game is unaffected. OBS is reporting that I'm still encoding frames, so I do not know why my chat has disconnected on my Twitch app. It may have to do with the fact that the Twitch app is shit. Just a thought. I'm just throwing out possibilities so that we can better evaluate the things in our lives. It just gives me a message saying reconnecting to chat. And it has given me no indication that a connection has been re-established, so I'm just going to assume that my chat is currently disconnected on my Twitch app on my phone. So I'm not sure what that's about. I've got no idea why it's happened, and it has nothing to do with my personal network, so I'm just gonna let it be. Maybe I'll... after this particular confrontation, I will close and reopen my Twitch app. Dingles is doing some excellent combo greatsword there. I mean, I was sort of doing the same out of necessity, so maybe he was doing that for much the same reason. Maybe it would be unfair to judge him negatively in that way. Oh, it's a good opportunity. This will kill him, I think. Come on. 1 of 3 monsters. There you go. Alright, so I don't think my Twitch chat has reconnected. It's actually... it's on Twitch's side, it's not just the app. The chat on my PC is also... oh, now it's just reconnected. What the fuck are you doing, Twitch? Seriously. What about this is acceptable? There has been no interruption whatsoever to my live stream that I can see. And yet, the chat just couldn't connect. It's apparently reconnected on my PC, but it can't reconnect on my phone, even though I've just closed and reopened the application, so... I hate you so much, Twitch. I hate you with every fiber of my being, you useless servers. Useless website, useless app, useless concept. Alright. Yeah. Shouldn't have charged. Well, I'm not going to go for the head now, am I? Detonate the bombs. Do something useful. Or the one bomb that's there, whatever. Muser sadly got thrown away. You're shooting sleep coatings, okay. You know, in the time it took for you to put the monster to sleep, only for the monster to be woken up accidentally anyway, you could have just applied slime and killed it faster. If you're going to use the Kelby Deer Shot, you did a very good job of hitting Muser away with a blast arc shot. Muser's response to that turn of events was, "Don't touch me there, pervert." I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, there is a strategy associated with the Kelby Deer Shot, and Tina is not making use of it at all. There are always alternative strategies, but the reality is that the Kelby Deer Shot is not dealing damage on its own. This is the important point. What makes the Kelby Deer Shot strong is the application of slime. That's what's so strong about it. Now, when you start charging the bow as if that's going to help, and doing arc blast shots, and applying sleep coatings unnecessarily, you're taking away from the weapon. It's actually not helpful at all. At this stage, we're about to get through this monster without a sleep having taken place, which is what I suspected, because again, this monster is not going to last very long. I mean, Tina, you effectively contributed nothing to that. You do realize that. You could have just used the bow as it should be used. Anyway. For those of you who are chatting to me or trying to chat to me, I'm sorry, but I can't actually read what you're saying. Because the Twitch chat is currently non-functioning. Like, it does not work. It's is not working on my phone. It's not working on the computer. But I'm not having my stream interrupted whatsoever. I still have viewers that are going up and down. So Twitch has just shut itself specifically in the chat functionality aspect. So I don't know why that has happened or how it has happened, but what that means is that I cannot at this stage communicate with you, which is unfortunate. Again, you have, at this stage, you have one fucking function. Now you're shooting poison coatings. You just don't get it. You just don't get it, do you? Whatever makes you happy. A Kelby Deer Shot user who can't use the Kelby Deer Shot is essentially what we are witnessing today. If you're going to use it, just apply the slime. You are actually shooting poison coatings on a monster that's already poisoned. You're going to do it again? Let's watch it. Let's watch it very carefully. Okay, now... Okay, good. You just didn't notice that it was poison. I was going to say, like, if you're going to keep on applying poison coatings to a poisoned monster, that would be a very special moment. A very special moment. And something worth recording for posterity. Don't you dare leave. Are you kidding me? Well, that would be one example of a decent blast arc shot. Oh, we very nearly fucked that up. Very nearly. Okay. It's over. If you're wondering why I'm so frustrated by Tina's inability to use the Kelby Deer Shot, it's because it's not a good bow to use unless you're going to use it as like a constant source of slime application. Outside of that, you may as well use a proper bow, like something that works well as a bow on its own, rather than having to rely on the broken mechanics of slime. But Tina's trying to use it like a normal bow, and it's ridiculous. Muser just screamed in the chat, "Die, you sandbat!" And Tina responded with, "What? What is this conversation?" Hello, bread users. Apparently the chat is fixed for you guys, and it must be fixed for me as well, but it's still fucked on my mobile device, so what I'll do is I'll close it and reopen it again, and hopefully it will be working. I'm going to do one more hunt, because I do have things to do and places to be, but let's try that again. Okay, we are operational again. The chat is working. I do not know what causes a situation to unfold where only the chat is malfunctioning on Twitch. That makes no sense to me, but that's Twitch for you. Anyone can post, I don't care. So Dingles is essentially introducing a free-for-all in the room that he is supposed to be taking charge in. So I don't really know what should be done at this stage. I guess I'll choose. Beauty kills. There's nothing beautiful about you just because you're pink. I don't know. I don't know what I feel like doing. Definitely none of these. I want to grind some HRP. Let's do 4-point formation. An ominous cry. Should we do this? What is this? Is that Kurapeko summoning Savage Deviljay? It might be. Yeah, it must summon Savage Deviljay. Well, I'm not really in need of that. How about a father and son outing? The giant one and the tiny one. Let's do that. Muser is now screaming, "Died of explosive gonorrhea," which is good for him. That's neither funny nor clever nor anything of worth, but that's his idea of humor. A father and son outing. Giant and mini green Plezzy. It's in the land arena, so we don't need weapons that are appropriate for underwater combat. Dingles has responded with an ellipsis, which does beg the question as to why he is allowing people to post whatever they want. You don't get to respond in that way. That's just how it is. I don't even care if it's considered to be an annoying hunt. I think it's quite funny. But what should I bring, though? Maybe a gun. Yeah. Or a bow. In fact. Yeah, I'm going to bring Abyssal Pierce Bow. That'll do me. Emprestado. Now that's the name of a bow that I would like to use. Dingles doesn't seem to be too excited about this hunt. Again, probably because I didn't poke him back, but aside from that. Where is it? Father and son outing. Hello? Is it not an event quest? Am I blind? Here it is. A father and son outing. Ranged weaponry is encouraged. For various reasons. And also feline courage. Not for the effect that it gives you, but for the fact that you probably need some courage. In general. Alright, let's bring Lucky Cat. I want better green plesiothrops, okay? I can't bring power coatings. I mean, I can bring them, but I can't use them. So I will put them away. I'll get some close range and that'll probably do me. Unless... oh, this can shoot paralysis as well. Very well. I'll smoke bomb, says Tina. Okay. I was wanting a bit more chaos than that. I was in the mood, but that's alright. Tina can go and smoke bomb. Ugh, just means I have to be careful not to have a pierce arrow hit the one that we're not trying to hunt. Which wouldn't be difficult, it just requires some attention to be focused in on the hunt. Tina is strategizing. I've expressed my assent to her proposition. And Dingles, I'm assuming, is smashing his head against the wall. Wondering why I would post a quest like this. It's not that bad. I'd still rather do this than that underwater arena hunt. That did suck. Oh god. I suppose it was good judgment on my part to say that this would be the last hunt, because we've spent a lot of time before even getting into the hunt. So, what did you even do? You didn't even... You just turned up with the same fucking loadout, man. At least from what I can tell. Maybe he did change something with his armor. But he's still using that same greatsword. Whatever. Alright, go for it, Tina. You really gonna check the box? In you go. Go on. Alright. What have we got? Actually, why did I choose a pierce bow? That was a bad idea. Alright. Yeah, I shouldn't have chosen a pierce bow. That was a very stupid idea. I didn't realize that the small one was that fucking small. I had no idea. I thought it was at least going to be big enough for me to pierce through it a little bit, but that's crazy. Also, you hurt a lot. What's with the flash bombing? Flash bombs in conjunction with smoke bombs is really not helpful, because you can see that I cannot fucking see anything. You can see that I cannot see. So, that's what's going on. I don't know how Musa's going to do anything right now. I'm assuming the small one has seen us at this stage. If not, then great, but this is garbage. Yeah, this is an awful one. It's a whole lot worse because someone keeps throwing... yeah. Tina fucked up the smoke bombs, so now we're dealing with the little one as well. It's a father and son outing, and Tina is dead. Look at him go! Look at the little one! I don't know if you saw that, but that was very funny. Dingles is dead now. Oh, come on, guys. It's just a giant Plesioth. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a few things wrong with that, actually. That was entertaining. I enjoyed that. There's nothing about that hunt that I regret. I got to see that. Look at him go! That is extremely funny. I love this quest. I don't know if you get anything from it. I'm assuming you don't. Maybe there is an event reward of some kind, but God. What a nightmare. Well, of course he's a gold crown in this hunt. But yeah, Plesioth is usually among the larger monsters you can hunt. But yeah, that wasn't great. Alright, let's try something different. If I posted it again, I think there would be a unanimous pushback on that. Awesome, says Tina. Yeah. What would have been really awesome is you not fucking up the smoke bombs. Would have really liked that. But, oh well, I was intending on going in there without smoke bombs, I suppose. So, imagine doing this hunt. What a waste of time. Baby next? Yeah, we could do it. Let's give it another try. And I'm not going to use... Well, I could use ranged, but... No, I won't. But I'm not expecting much success in using a Blade Master loadout against the giant one. This is my concern. I don't have an evasion loadout either, which I would like to use in conjunction with the giant one. We'll use against the giant one. Maybe Sword and Shield. Nether Maestral. Yeah, Durambros probably is a bit bigger. Musa has gone and posted it again. I mean, he is eager. As he should be. I think Dingles is quite upset. The fact that he's standing still, I think, is some kind of expression of discontent. Which I consider to be funny. We have established that he's not particularly good at the game. So it might not be all that comfortable a hunt for him. I'd like to complete this one though, because I do have Exchanger this time around. So once he's gotten himself in gear, we'll be ready to go. Musa has Hornblower, which is great. Happy to hear that. We'll see how Tina goes with the smoke bombing this time. Ugh. I'm not going to do any smoke bombing myself because I'm not going to compromise my DPS by being ready to smoke bomb in the event that Tina fucks up. So that's how I'm going to approach this. You know, you need 3 people aggressively attacking while one person either doesn't attack at all or attacks very occasionally, and in a way that's not going to prevent them from dropping a smoke bomb at the time that it's needed. So that really is the strategy we need to use. Dingles says, go on ahead, I'm a little busy. I don't think so somehow. I just don't think he wants to do the quest. Fuck. I don't want to 3-man this. What about this hunt? Okay, maybe it's a good thing. I don't think Dingles is going to do so well with his greatsword against the giant Plesioth, to be fair. So, let's just go along with this. Musa needs to read the chat and acknowledge that Dingles doesn't want to do this hunt, and then once that has happened, I'll be able to begin the hunt. Dear God, come on. Don't know why I'm so sleepy all of a sudden. That's Hornblower, is it? Yeah, Hornblower. I'm seeing all the horn blowing going on. Flat-headed motherfucker. Your head would make a nice table. Okay, that was great. No, don't go in the... Unless you've got smoke bomb. What's going on? Are we smoke bombing and are we starting with the small one? We've been seen by the large one. What? You have very little concept of strategy, don't you? What the fuck is going on? Why is he walking in there, being seen by the giant one, and then going and fighting the small one? I don't get it. I think there is a lack of strategy at play here. Because you can see that this is not going to work. I mean, we can't be fighting the small one while the giant one is swinging his tail at us. It is not going to work. The small one is the one that we want attacking us while we're aiming for the other monster. Because, oh my god, look at the size of the fucking water beam. Dear god. I think Musa has actually changed his mind about fighting the small one, so... Either he's really dumb... Or... Yeah, I actually don't know. I think he's just really dumb. Whatever. I don't know what his plan was. I don't think there was one. The extent to his plan was hit the small one. No other considerations were involved. It makes such a little noise. Oh god. And Tina is doing what she can to distract the big one, the Father. I have to refer to them in that way. The Father and the Son. And the Holy Spirit. Don't know who the Holy Spirit is. Definitely not Musa. Look at him go, he's so small. And when he runs like that, it's so good. Look at him go. He's got somewhere to be. Yeah. The sun has quite a distance to travel, you see. Ow. The damage of the large one is much greater than that of the small one. This should also be mentioned. Oh, I don't want to get caught in that. Tina is dead. Better shield that. It's funny how the little Plesioth just, I suppose, flops on the ground but doesn't make much, doesn't cover much ground, you know. Imagine giant hunters. Imagine if this was actually a normal sized Plesioth and you had giant hunters running around. That's the way I like to imagine it. I don't imagine that the monster's small, I just imagine that we're giant. And it makes it a little funnier. Okay, well, again, probably don't want to be fighting the little one with your Pierce loadout. Oh, good god. Yeah, I don't think I would want Dingles to be in this hunt. Got a flinch. Got some more flash bombs going out, which may or may not be helpful. Probably helpful, except that I just got hip checked. Oh dear. I did actually press the button to shield, but it just came too quickly for me to deal with it. That is to say, the tail swing. I wouldn't have been able to shield that even if it was on my position. You've covered some ground and now you're coming back the other way. Alright. Oh god. The father is not doing a very good job of protecting his son. Thank you for that. Like, what were you thinking in that moment? You had long since ended up off target with the monster, and yet you still shot your gun and successfully hit me. You were miles away from the fucking monster, so I don't know what your intention was in shooting in that moment, but you definitely did that. What the hell was that? Oh, I pressed the fucking shield button! I pressed it! It comes so fucking quickly that I can see that it's coming. I can press the button before it makes contact, but unfortunately, the incredible speed of the movement is greater than my character's ability to respond to my button input. I don't want to use a max potion for this, but I'll do it. We're one feint away from failure. The father is currently disciplining the child. Tail swing to the face. The child is now dejected after being physically disciplined. I can't do anything. I was at a very tender moment in my combo where I couldn't have shielded if I wanted to, and my only choice was to roll. Poor thing, look at him. He looks so pathetic. Baby Plesioth is very funny. Hilarious. The giant one is not that funny, but the little one, very funny. Better keep away from that heavy shot. I can't believe that this little fucker is still alive. I guess part of the problem is that I'm probably not really hitting weak points. I think the wings are absorbing a lot of my attacks, and they are not particularly susceptible to damage at all, so... The enjoyment is beginning to drain away. One thing that I will always enjoy, however, is seeing that giant water beam coming out of this tiny monster. That's very entertaining. Oh. Ow. I'm trying to keep as aggressively on target with this small Plesioth as I can. What? The little one's the only one we need to kill! What the fuck? Oh, I didn't know. The mistake is to try and fight the big one. Hunt a green Plesioth. Only one is required. The father is only there to protect the son. The son is our target. The father is treated as an invading monster, which incidentally do not exist in the arena, but apparently Capcom can get around that. Wow. I came in here and ripped a family apart. I don't know if we can be blamed for that. Maybe we can. I suppose the people who procured the father and son did bring them together in the arena. I mean, they were still together. They may have been pulled out of their home environment, but at least they were together. Now I've The father is flopping on the ground in the distance while I slaughter his son. Oh my god. Quite funny. Well, that's that hunt. Wasn't as bad as I thought, actually. That's very important to keep in mind. We need to basically attack the small one until it dies, and that is the objective. Alright. I think that's going to conclude this recording. I'd say that was a good climax and resolution to our recording. I do thank you all for watching, and thank you to that guy that I can only refer to as Uncle for his fan art. That was a nice surprise. I bid you all farewell for now, and I will see you when I'm next recording Monster Hunter or anything else you would like to see. Bye bye for now.